Cheers boasted a talented ensemble cast who brought the bar and its patrons to life. Over the course of nearly 300 episodes, we met a whole lot of unforgettable characters. Some stayed the entire run, while others came and went. Sadly, some of the phenomenal actors behind these characters have passed away since the show ended in the early 90s. Today, we pay tribute to those who are no longer with us, but whose performances will forever be cherished. So, grab a virtual beer and settle in as we revisit some of Cheers' beloved stars we miss dearly. Harry Anderson as Harry the Hat Gittes. Cheers wouldn't be the same without the charming rogue, Harry the Hat. Played by the talented Harry Anderson, this magician and small-time hustler brought a touch of playful chaos to the bar. His magic tricks and light-hearted cons were a source of amusement, and perhaps a little light-hearted larceny, for the patrons of Cheers. Interestingly, the actor behind Harry the Hat was a real magician. Harry Anderson's skills added authenticity to the character. His busy schedule eventually led to fewer appearances in Cheers, as he took on a starring role in another comedy, Night Court, which aired on the same channel. Sadly, on April 16, 2018, at age 65, he died in his sleep of a stroke due to influenza and heart disease at his home in Asheville, North Carolina. He'll always be remembered as one of the most entertaining characters on Cheers. Carmen Argenziano as Marvin. Carmen Argenziano graced screens both big and small for over 4 decades, leaving an indelible mark on the world of entertainment. His journey in acting commenced in the early 1970s, with notable roles in films like Caged Heat and The Godfather Part II. Argenziano became a fixture on crime dramas, captivating audiences with his performances in shows like Kojak and The Rockford Files. Throughout the 1980s, he made appearances on popular series such as Cheers and The A-Team, while also making a notable contribution to the award-winning film The Accused. In the subsequent years, Argenziano secured recurring roles on action-packed shows like Booker before joining the cast of Stargate SG-1 as a military officer turned alien envoy. Continuing to pursue his passion well into his 70s, Argenziano graced crime dramas like CSI NY with his talent. His passing in 2019 marked the end of a prolific career, leaving behind a legacy of memorable characters that endeared him to audiences worldwide. Kirstie Alley as Rebecca Howe. Instead of waiting tables and attending fancy auditions, Alley got her start by being funny on game shows. People loved her quick wit and down-to-earth vibe, plus that killer dark hair. Her big break came with a role in a Star Trek movie, Wrath of Khan. This launched her acting career, and soon she was starring in a major TV show called Cheers. Replacing a favorite character is risky business, but Kirstie won everyone over. Her performance was so awesome, she even snagged an Emmy. Kirstie never stopped keeping busy, even trying her hand at reality shows like Dancing with the Stars. We sadly lost her in 2022 at 71, but her laugh and talent will always be remembered. Reed Shelton as George Wheeler. Red Skelton, a born entertainer with a heart of gold, was destined for showbiz greatness from the start. Growing up in a family of performers, he took to the stage at a tender age. By 10, he was already touring with a medicine show, and by 15, he had found his footing on the vaudeville circuit. It was in Edna, his beloved partner and later manager, that Red discovered both love and comedic synergy. Together, they propelled his career to new heights, conquering Broadway, radio, and the silver screen. Yet, it was television that truly cemented Red's status as a household name. The Red Skelton Hour delighted audiences for an incredible 20-year run, tickling funny bones with iconic characters like Clem Cadiddlehopper and the lovable seagulls Gertrude and Heathcliff. Beyond his comedic genius, Red was also known for his boundless kindness, generously supporting children's charities, and continuing to spread laughter through live performances well into his later years. His passing on September 17, 1997, at the age of 84, marked the end of an era in entertainment, leaving behind a legacy of joy and warmth that endures to this day. Jay Thomas as Eddie LeBec. Carla, the feisty waitress on Cheers, didn't have the best luck in love. First, she was married to the less-than-great Nick Tortelli. Later, she married Eddie LeBec, a former hockey player who turned into an ice skater. Unfortunately, Eddie wasn't much better, and their marriage ended in a funny yet sad way when Eddie died in an ice show accident. Jay Thomas, the actor who played Eddie, was well known on TV. You might recognize him from Mork and Mindy or Murphy Brown. He also made a lot of funny appearances on David Letterman's show over the years. Sadly, Jay Thomas passed away in 2017. Roger Rees as Robin Colcord. In the later seasons of Cheers, there was a love triangle involving Sam, Rebecca, and Robin Colcord. Robin, played by Roger Rees, was a sophisticated British businessman who caused quite a stir at the bar. Sam was interested in Rebecca, but she was more drawn to Robin's wealth and glamorous lifestyle. However, Robin turned out to be not as perfect as he seemed, and Rebecca eventually lost interest. Roger Rees, the actor who played Robin, was a big name in theater. He did a lot of work on Broadway and even won a Tony Award for his performance in The Life and Adventures of Nicholas Nickleby. Sadly, Roger Rees passed away in 2015. Keene Curtis as John Allen Hill. Living above a noisy bar is no easy task, and that was the constant struggle for Melville's restaurant in Cheers. Situated right above Cheers, Melville's often complained about the noise from the bar below. Things got really interesting in Season 9 when John Allen Hill, a snobbish character played by Keene Curtis, bought Melville's. Hill and Sam Malone, the owner of Cheers, did not get along at all. John Allen Hill tried to make life difficult for Sam by claiming that parts of Cheers actually belonged to Melville's. He even tried to charge rent for the bathroom. Despite the tension, Cheers managed to come out on top, though they definitely didn't become friends with John Allen Hill. Keene Curtis, the actor who played John Allen Hill, was a very accomplished performer. He won a Tony Award for his work on Broadway and appeared in many popular TV shows. He is probably most familiar to television viewers for his role as the dandyish John Allen Hill on Cheers. Some of his other notable television and film work includes playing Max Pomeroy on the short-lived Bill Bixby series The Magician, 1 in a Million, and the made-for-television movie Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. Sadly, Keene Curtis passed away in 2002. Hugh McGuire as Hugh. Hugh John McGuire was a familiar face in TV and movies. You might remember him as Ed Matthews on the sitcom Live-In, or as Hugh in 15 episodes of Cheers. He popped up in lots of TV shows like 227, Knots Landing, Growing Pains, Wings, and L.A. Law. On the big screen, he was in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Vanishing on 7th Street, The Double, and No Sudden Move in 2021. Hugh passed away from natural causes on May 18, 2023, in Los Angeles, California. He'll be remembered fondly by his family and fans. Walter Olkowicz as Wally Budell. Walter Olkowicz had a colorful career in entertainment. He kicked things off with improv, performing with various groups, and co-founding the improvisational group Saturday Bath, which toured the country for over a year. Early on, billed as Ray Holland, he appeared in films like Future World, The Greatest, Summer Camp, Hot T-Shirts, and The Client. Olkowicz was a familiar face on TV, guest starring on shows like Barney Miller, Night Court, Seinfeld, ER, and Who's the Boss? He was a semi-regular on Dolly Parton's variety show, Dolly, and played Dougie Boudreaux in the first 4 seasons of Grace Under Fire. Many fans remember him as the bartender Jacques Renault on Twin Peaks. Sadly, Olkowicz passed away at his home in Reseda, California on April 6, 2021, at the age of 72 after a long illness. George Gaines as Malcolm Kramer. Whether you remember him as the quirky Commandant Lassard from the Police Academy series, the grumpy yet kind-hearted Henry Warnemont from Punky Brewster, or the amorous soap opera star John Van Horn in the comedy Tootsie, George Gaines was a staple of 80s American pop culture. Born in Finland in 1917, Gaines's early education took place at the Collège Classique Cantonal near Lausanne in Switzerland. He then studied opera at the Music School of Milan in Italy. During World War II, he served in both the Dutch and British navies before relocating to the United States to pursue acting. He starred in Broadway shows like The Consul and Wonderful Town, and later honed his craft at the Actors Studio. After marrying Broadway actress Alan Ann McClary, Gaines moved to Los Angeles, where he appeared on TV series such as Bonanza. His memorable role in Tootsie came in 1982, quickly followed by the first of 7 Police Academy movies in 1984. That same year, he began starring opposite Soleil Moon-Frye in Punky Brewster. Gaines continued his career with the recurring role of Arthur Feldman on The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd, and notable appearances in films like The Crucible and Wag the Dog, before retiring in 2003. George Gaines passed away in 2016 at the age of 98. John Hancock as Lenny Barnes. John Hancock was a thick-set, affable African-American character actor who displayed remarkable versatility throughout his career, easily adapting to roles as diverse as judges, thugs, military men, and executives. Just as he was reaching the top of his career, Hancock's life was tragically cut short. You might remember him from the miniseries Roots: The Next Generations or the sitcom Love and War. He was also a familiar face on the legal drama L.A. Law, where he frequently played a judge. Hancock's talent allowed him to be both tough and funny, depending on the role. He appeared in movies like A Soldier's Story and had a recurring role on the animated series Duckman. Sadly, John Hancock passed away from a heart attack in 1992, just as his career was on the rise. Nancy Marchand as Hester Crane. With her classy style and unique voice, Nancy Marchand became known for playing elegant and sophisticated characters. She really found her niche on stage. Marchand started acting young, even performing in a play during her college summer break. After graduation, she hit the road and performed in theaters all across the country. Shakespeare, modern plays, you name it, she did it. Nancy even won an award for her role in The Balcony. You might also remember her from plays like Mornings at 7 and Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All for You. Nancy Marchand was a true talent, captivating audiences for over 4 decades. Sadly, she passed away on June 18, 2000, just a day before her 72nd birthday in Stratford, Connecticut. She left behind a rich legacy of amazing stage performances that will always be remembered. Frances Bay as Mrs. Brubaker. Frances Bay may have seemed small and a bit shaky on screen, but that didn't slow her down one bit. This incredible actress didn't start her acting journey until she was 60 years old back in 1978. Yep, she was a real late bloomer in the biz. Her first gig was a tiny role as an old lady in the movie Foul Play. But from there, she just kept going, playing grandmas and all sorts of stuff, from classic TV shows like The Jeffersons to movies like The Karate Kid. You might remember her best as Adam Sandler's grandma in the hilarious flick Happy Gilmore. But for fans of Seinfeld, she'll always be Mrs. Choate, the old lady with the marble rye that Jerry was desperate for. She even popped up in the show's big finale. Sadly, Bay passed away in Tarzana, California, on September 15, 2011, at the age of 92, due to pneumonia complications. Max Wright as Jim Fleener. The whole Sam and Diane roller coaster on Cheers hit its high point in the season 4 finale, Strange Bedfellows. In these episodes, Sam gets involved with a city council member, and Diane thinks he's being used. To get back at him, Diane supports the councilman's nerdy opponent, Jim Fleener. Wright kept busy in TV right up to the 2010s, playing roles like Central Perk manager Terry on Friends and Max Denby on Norm Macdonald's sitcom Norm. Sadly, Max Wright passed away from cancer complications at 75 in 2019. Ian Wolfe as Buzz Crowder. You know that eerie guy who seemed to pop up in every other movie? That was Ian Wolfe. He had this intense stare and often played villains or shady characters for a whopping 70 years. His acting journey began on the New York stage before he made the big move to Hollywood in his late 30s. His breakthrough role came as a tough sailor in the classic film Mutiny on the Bounty. From there, he landed over 150 movie roles, spanning across comedies and dramas. Maybe you caught him in The Fortune, or even the 1990 Dick Tracy flick. Ian Wolfe had quite the love story, too. He was married for a remarkable 68 years. He passed away in 1992 at the impressive age of 95. Vince Howard as Heppel. Vince Howard was quite the busy actor, kicking off his career on the 1960s show Mr. Novak. From there, he became a familiar face on TV, popping up in series like The Fugitive, Hawaii Five-0, and even Bewitched. He even made appearances in classic sci-fi shows like Star Trek and The Time Tunnel. Vince Howard eventually retired from acting in 1994, leaving behind a lengthy career on both the silver and small screens. Sadly, he passed away from leukemia on July 18, 2002, just 3 days shy of his 73rd birthday. Donnelly Rhodes as Leo. From park ranger to pop culture icon, Donnelly Rhodes's career was a testament to his talent and versatility. Born in Winnipeg in 1937, Rhodes eventually found his calling on stage and screen. He wasn't just a familiar face. He landed roles in everything from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to the hilarious sitcom Soap. Later years saw him take the lead in shows like Da Vinci's Inquest and the rebooted Battlestar Galactica, proving his acting chops never faded. Donnelly kept acting well into his later years, with his last credit being on a superhero show. Sadly, he passed away in 2018 at the age of 80. Markie Post as Heather Landon. Markie Post didn't start out as the courtroom dynamo fans knew her as on Night Court. Her journey began behind the scenes, working on game shows like Double Dare in the 70s. While honing her craft in local theater productions, she made her mark with small TV roles on shows like Chips and even dabbled in sitcoms, playing a roommate of football players in a short-lived series. After a few false starts with pilot episodes, Post finally found her breakout role as Christine Sullivan on Night Court, stepping in for another actress. The 90s brought her back to series TV with Odd Man Out and a memorable cameo in the hit movie There's Something About Mary. Post's presence remained steady on TV screens throughout her career, her familiar face bringing joy to many. Sadly, she passed away at her Los Angeles home on August 7, 2021, after a nearly 4-year battle with cancer. She was 70 years old. James Karen as Dr. Ludlow. James Karen was a seasoned Hollywood performer, gracing stages, television screens, and movie theaters for decades. His journey into acting was nudged along by a congressman who dabbled in the art himself. Karen's talent garnered respect in the industry, earning him awards for his outstanding performances. He bid farewell to the world in 2018 at the age of 94, leaving behind a legacy of remarkable contributions to entertainment. Anita Morris as Madeline Keith. A triple threat with a captivating stage presence, Anita Morris left audiences in awe. This talented dancer, singer, and actress graced both Broadway and Hollywood. While her show-stopping performance in the 1982 Broadway musical Nine might be a highlight, she consistently brought her energy to numerous productions. Diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 1980, Anita Morris defied the odds. Though given only 5 years, she persevered for another 14, continuing to share her talent with the world. Sadly, she passed away in 1994 at the age of 50. Michael Curry as Mr. Sheridan, a familiar face on both the big and small screen. Michael Curry enjoyed a prolific career. He kicked things off in the 70s with appearances on classic shows like MASH. Curry transitioned seamlessly between television and film, landing roles in action movies like Firefox with Clint Eastwood, comedies like Airplane 2, and even a horror film, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. The 80s proved to be a busy decade for him, and he continued to work steadily throughout the 90s, sharing the screen with actors like Mel Gibson and Demi Moore. More recently, audiences might recognize him from the legal drama Suits. Tragically, Michael Curry passed away in a work-related accident in San Francisco on May 9, 2024. Dick O'Neill as Mr. Clavin. Dick O'Neill, a character actor hailing from New York City, left his mark on both comedic and suspenseful films. You might remember him for his roles in hilarious movies like The Jerk, as well as in gripping thrillers like The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Throughout his life, he was married twice. He passed away in Santa Monica, California in 1998, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances. Hamilton Camp as Martin Gallagher. A jack of all trades in Hollywood, Hamilton Camp left his mark on both music and animation. Born in England, he moved to the U.S. with his family during World War II. His artistic journey began young as he started acting as a child. In the 60s, he even found success as a folk singer alongside Bob Gibson, with their song Pride of Man becoming a hit. He brought beloved characters to life in iconic cartoons like The Smurfs, Scooby-Doo, and DuckTales, leaving a lasting legacy for animation fans. Sadly, Hamilton Camp passed away in 2005. Eric Christmas as Father Barry. Eric Christmas was a total showman. This British actor could do it all, whether it was fancy Shakespearean stuff or pratfalls that would make you snort your soda. He was like a chameleon, switching between roles like a confused sitcom doc and a serious dude in a sci-fi flick. No matter how wacky the part, think Fighting Tomatoes, Eric could make it hilarious or dramatic, whatever the script called for. He even ended his career playing a laugh-out-loud lawyer. Eric passed away in 2000 at 84, but the characters he brought to life are still out there making us laugh and think. Glynis Johns as Mrs. Helen Chambers. This British actress charmed audiences for over 60 years with her infectious personality and that cool, breathy voice. Acting was in her blood, so she started young, performing on stage as a kid and even landing movie roles as a teenager. Glynis wasn't afraid to play all sorts of fun characters, from a flirty mermaid to a girl power icon fighting for women's rights in Mary Poppins. But she might be best known for belting out tunes and winning a Tony Award, think Broadway's biggest prize, in a musical called A Little Night Music. Retirement? No way. Glynis kept acting well into her later years, even popping up in movies like While You Were Sleeping. No matter the role, she brought her sunshine and talent to the screen. This true entertainer will always be remembered for the characters she brought to life. She passed away peacefully in 2024. Frederick Cook. R.P. McMurphy wasn't just a character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Whoa. He was a real-life actor with a fascinating journey. After serving in the Navy, he discovered his love for theater and chased it all the way to New York. He honed his skills with famous teachers and even landed the iconic McMurphy role early on. But R.P.'s passion extended beyond acting. He founded an acting school in L.A. and later opened an arts conservatory in Utah. Throughout his life, he balanced acting, teaching, and even running a music store, all fueled by his dedication to the arts. Sadly, he died on March 24, 2016, Park City, Utah. Maurice Roaves. Scottish at heart, this actor traded flour mills for the stage. Born in England, he battled asthma as a young boy. While teaching seemed like a path, he ended up working in flour mills, even becoming a manager. But the love of acting was strong. He trained at drama school and quickly rose from assistant stage manager to leading roles, like Shakespeare's characters. He even took over the title role of Macbeth from Alec Guinness. This talented performer left flour mills behind for a life on stage and screen. Sadly, Roe Aves died on 14th July 2020 at the age of 83 after a period of ill health. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts and raise a glass to the legacy of Cheers in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more classic TV tributes. See you next time. Fattit Santaray.